So Corey Brewer, really interesting guy. What an incredible career. Played at Florida, as I'm sure you know. Two-time NCAA champion. Played on those Billy Donovan teams. Was on that Mavs team. Didn't actually play in that finals. Played a few times in the postseason run. But was a part of that Mavs team that beat the Heat all the way back in the 2011 finals when I was covering that Miami Heat team. Really interesting dude on a really interesting Sacramento Kings team. And he's ready now to make time for us. It was earlier in the day I was able to catch up with him, and here's the conversation. I think you'll enjoy it.
All right, Corey, so just read off your resume, two-time NCAA champion, member of that Mavs NBA Championship team. You're with this really young and exciting Kings team. When you look back at your career, which is ongoing, what's the high? What's the for you the biggest professional accomplishment?
Oh man. Probably winning the World Championship was probably the ultimate high. But, it started winning those two national championships. That was amazing.
Those two championships, you guys won the first one, you and the guys under Billy Donovan. And you and your teammates, several of you, made the decision to come back for another year, even though at least three of you would have been probably first-round picks. When you look back at that decision and that gamble, how do you view it, and would you do it again if you had that choice in 2019?
It was a tough decision to make because we all would have been first-round picks. But, man, we were having so much fun, and we were all roommates, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I'd do it again.
What's the sweeter NCAA championship? What's the better net to cut down? The first one when you've never had it, or the second one when you get to some elite company?
They're both different. The first one was amazing because nobody expected us to do it. I think we came out, we were ranked 75th in the nation in the beginning of the year. And then the second one was nobody expected us to do it again. They didn't think nobody could go back to back. But we had the same starting five, so we felt like nobody could beat us.
Yeah, it was an incredible run. We've obviously got 4 teams left in the tournament. Texas Tech team defensively is incredible. Michigan State, led by a guy that's already in the Hall of Fame on one side of the equation. On the other, you got Auburn against the only one seed that's left in Virginia. Do you have a strong sense of which team from here you think has the best chance to do what you guys did and bask in the glory of being the only team left standing?
Man, I really like Michigan State because Coach Izzo's, he's one of the best. But I'm an SEC guy, so I got to go with Auburn. I hope Bruce Pearl pulls it out.
Yeah, I get it. Got to root for those conferences. I want to ask you about Coach Donovan, highly celebrated at the NBA level earlier in the year. Fair or not fair talk that maybe he's on the hot seat now in Oklahoma City because things aren't going well there. You played for the guy. What's your perspective on Billy Donovan, the head coach at the NBA level, at the college level, just in general?
I think Coach is a great coach, man. He gets some criticism in OKC, but I think he's doing a good job. They still have Andre Roberson out. He's their defensive stopper. But he's doing what he can do, and I think they're going to be a scary team in the playoffs. But Coach can coach. He gets it done.
Corey, one of my favorite things to do is to come home after work, put on League Pass, and watch maybe not the best teams in the NBA, but those teams that you sense are going to be really good in a year or 2 or 3. And this year, it's the Sacramento Kings that I keep finding myself drawn to. Really fun young group. You guys play with a lot of joy and a lot of energy. Looks like, I know there's still a chance, looks like you're going to be just on the wrong side of the playoff picture, but a really impressive season. You're there. You're a veteran on that team. When do you think the Sacramento Kings will stop being a League Pass team because we want to see what they're going to be, and they become the team that's in the mix this time of year?
I think it could be next year. Guys, we lost a lot of close games this year, and I think that's from being young. But I think next year we're going to know how to win those games. I hope I'm here. If I'm not, those guys are going to be good either way it goes because they have a lot of talent, and I think they learned a lot this year.
Corey, there was a report out in the last, 24 hours that one of the reasons Paul George felt comfortable sticking at where he's at and having a sense of the Lakers is that as his teammate, and you come from LA, you were able to give him the lay of the land of the Los Angeles Lakers. What did you share with him? What was that conversation about that led him to decide, you know what, I really like my life, my career, my opportunity with the Thunder?
I have no idea. Me and PG are pretty close, so I don't think I said anything bad towards the Lakers, but I don't know. Everybody's trying to make a story about it. Whatever he asked me, I was just truthful about it. I really can't make anybody's decision. He's a superstar, so they're not going to treat him the same as they treat me.
Was the message along the lines of, hey, every organization's different and the Thunder have a good thing going? Because it really was a surprise to a lot of us, not just that he stayed. And I lived in Oklahoma City for a long time. I love that market. But that he stayed pretty quickly without taking meetings with other teams.
Yeah, it was just more like wherever you're gonna be happy at. I'm one of those people, like, if you're happy somewhere, be happy. If you don't think you're gonna be happy, you gotta make a decision for yourself.
You were with Philly earlier this year. There's a lot of interesting teams in the Eastern Conference, and try to get a sense of what their ceiling is going to be in the postseason. The Celtics, Toronto, what Milwaukee can do. They're really, really good this regular season. You see them up close and personal. What is Philly's upside? What is their best case scenario over the next few months?
I think Philly has a chance to get to the finals. If they're playing their best basketball, they can get to the finals, man. If Jimmy's playing like I know he can play, and Ben, he's focused, and if Joel is Joel, they're gonna be tough. And they added Tobias Harris, which makes them even more explosive.
All right, so Joel Embiid, one of my favorite players from a distance. I remember back in the day just rooting for him and Riri, and you can't get everything that you want, but that guy is funny. Who was the most interesting couple players, personalities you've encountered over your NBA career?
He's definitely one of the most interesting guys, just because his mentality. He's a funny guy, but he knows he can dominate, and he dominates whenever he wants. It's it's fun to watch. I played with JaVale McGee. He's a character, but he's not as crazy as people think he is. He's a great guy, and I think this year he's proven why he can still really play basketball.
One of the really cool things, Corey, about the league is there are so many young guys that are going to potentially be remarkable over the next 1 or 2 or 3 years. It's hard to forecast who's going to dominate the NBA, let's say 4 or 5 years from now. So your team excluded, because there's a couple guys on your team that could be in this distinction. I don't want to put you on the spot. If you had to guess, Cat, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, I'm forgetting guys, Luka Doncic, there's so many guys that I could throw out there. Who do you think are the young guys that, to your eye, have the chance to be the most special in a pretty special group, let's say 3 or 4 years from now?
Oh, man, Embiid's already one of the best dudes in the league, like, if not the best center for sure. You got to put him in. Like, I play with Ben Simmons. Like, he's only going to get better, and he's young. So both those guys, and they're on the same team, they could be the 2 best guys in the league on the same team.
That's scary. All right, Corey, really enjoyed the conversation. Really enjoyed watching you guys doing your thing this year. I'll be watching the last few games on League Pass. Congrats on all your success and continued success, and thanks for making time on the show.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.